Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Two Couch Talk.
Welcome back.
Yeah. Episode 3.
Episode 3.
Yeah, we want to apologize about episode 2. The video got corrupted, and then we tried everything we could to try to fix it, but it just would not work.
Absolutely.
So apologize for that.
Very sorry.
Once again, I am Gavinci Raw. Today I will be your host. I am here with my other host, Mr. Jared Mannche.
Yes, sir. This is me.
Yeah, that's official. And so I'm going to go over a little brief what we do here again, just in case if you guys missed it for the second episode. What we do is talk about 2 topics, 1 controversial topic, 1 regular topic we just want to talk about. And we have 10 minutes for each topic. And we have a 1-5er that we're allowed once per episode. So as soon as we use it, we can only use it. That's it. Only for that one topic. So with that being said, let's get started.
Yeah, let's get right into it.
So
no long intros or anything. We're just jumping right
let's jump into it. We kind of screwed you guys with the last episode, so let's get this going.
Exactly.
Okay, so since I'm your host, I'm going to start off the episode. I'm actually going to start off with our controversial topic. So my first controversial topic for this episode. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right. So STDs.
STDs.
Yes.
Sexually transmitted diseases.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we got gross right away. And then how I'm going to make it controversial is, should you immediately tell people who you met or just met that you have an STD immediately? Yes or no? So let's begin. 10 minutes starts now.
Not unless you're about to go have sex with them.
Absolutely. I agree to that. Like if you're in a club, you're messing around with a girl or about to mess around with a girl, if you're a guy, or if you're a female about to mess around with a guy, I do think right then and there is when you should discuss it or tell them, like, hey, I got an STD, let's use protection. Or if it's type of STD.
Not like once you get into the bedroom and you both got your clothes off and then you're like about ready to go and you're like, oh, hey, I got this thing. You might want to, put something on. And like, no, because then that's going to ruin the whole mood. Like, if you tell me up front, I'm going to be a lot more accepting of it.
Yeah. So, so the reason why I ask like that is because, let's be real, there's a stigma there, too, about it, that if you have an STD, no one really wants to be with you, period. I mean, I'm not going to lie. If I was to get with a girl and I found out she had herpes, chlamydia, a gonorrhea, or any of those type of, I'm going to be 100 feet away from her. I'll tell you, you know what, dude, I'm sorry. I like you as a friend, but I don't want to be with you because I don't want to get these diseases myself, which a person who doesn't have it completely understands. Whereas I imagine a person who does have it's kind of like, no, I use protection. I use this. I take precautions. So if they were to was like mandated that you had to admit it or tell someone right from the get-go, like that's going to immediately kill any type of way of getting a relationship unless they get with someone who already has that. See, but then that's almost like leprosy. So it's like the leopards have to stay with the leopards, so it's like that's not really fair per se. So that's the reason why I'm like, this is kind of controversial in a way, because also you as an individual, not you, but I just mean people in general, if you're to keep it away from someone, you're doing a disservice to yourself and to them because you're literally lying. So you're starting off a relationship with a lie, and you have an STD, potentially might be giving it to somebody else. Like that's super fucked up.
Yeah.
Like you're actually trying to,
especially if you don't tell somebody and then you don't use protection, then they catch it too. Like that's
pretty fucked up.
I'd be pissed.
I'd be super
I'd be a
mad.
little pissed.
Yeah. I would go from like, oh, I love this person to like, oh my God, I can't trust this fucking human being. Yeah. I can't believe he did this to me.
Yeah. Like do not, I'd get a restraining order for sure.
Yeah.
I do think that if you tell somebody up front, like, like you said, you're in a club and you're about to go like, mess around with a female and say like you have it and you're like, oh, hey, I have this thing, it's kind of contagious. Like some of them aren't contagious.
Yeah.
Some of them don't get like.
Yeah. You don't have to worry about like if you kiss them or something like that. Like, oh my God, I got it.
Yeah.
Just obviously as long as you don't, as long as you do safe sex, you'll be fine.
Exactly. But it's like I still would appreciate knowing.
Yeah.
Or I would appreciate like, if I had it, I think the other person would be appreciative if I had told them up front.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I have this. I do like you and everything. I want a relationship with you, but we just got to be careful about this. And I'm like, Okay, yeah, I can. It's not.
So you wouldn't be opposed to it,
I wouldn't be opposed to it. It's just so as long as they are
ladies out there,
they're open about it, or that they,
or at least honest about it.
Yeah, they're honest about it, or they understand the risks, or they're careful with it. Just stuff like that. Just like it wouldn't be a go from like a yes to a no right then and there. Like I wouldn't just drop the female. I feel like I would at least give it a chance.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit on the fence about it. Like if it's someone who, okay, let's say it's like a female who I've known for like 15 years. Her and I are really good friends, and then finally we just, hey, you know what, let's try this. We always kind of liked each other. I'm looking at the camera because I know you're out there. Yeah. But it's, her and I have known each other forever, and I'm aware already that she's already had this because this douchebag gave it to her, and she's already aware of the risk, and she already knows how to prevent it from spreading. Then maybe I would think about it with her. Whereas if it's just some random person and immediately I know they have it, I'm going to be a lot more apprehensive to it, because it's like, I don't know you well enough to know you're not going to try to give me something.
Yeah, absolutely. And I understand that completely, where it's like, you already know the person, you have a prior relationship with them, so you trust them more than somebody you just met.
Yeah.
Now, like if you were, like, let's say it wasn't like a one night stand or something. Like you met some female and you started talking to her and everything, and you started and you were like wanting to start a relationship with her and go for like a long term kind of thing. Then my side of the argument would be like, okay, yeah, as long as they're honest and we're careful and everything, then it's all good.
Yeah.
But it's like, I ain't gonna risk it over a one night stand.
No, like, yeah, if it's one of those things where you feel like there's no way I could pass up this booty, or I mean, that's just being ridiculous, but there's no way you could pass up this female. There's something about her. It's just like, you know what, I gotta try for this, and then you find that out but see, and then okay, well, what about this scenario? You guys start talking. You guys get, you guys have not gotten intimate. We're say like 5 months have passed, and you guys are like, damn, this is really working out. I like everything about her. Let's make this shit happen. And then finally one day you guys are actually going to have relations, hey, gentlemen like word relations, and then you decide, let's like do it without a condom or something. It's just like, let's go actually try this. And she's just like, no, we can't. And you're like, why? Why would you be like that with me? I really like you, and I'm honestly falling in love with you. And she says the same thing to you, and you're like, okay, everything's game, let's do this. Everything's take off. And then all of a sudden she says no, and then finally she admits to you, oh, well, I actually have an STD that I contracted a few years back, and trust me, it's not like I've been cheating on you or nothing, it's just something I've had. Then do you like reevaluate everything because she wasn't honest with you from the beginning, or do you immediately say, you know what, I like this girl a lot, maybe I should just go with it, let's see what happens? I mean, obviously you're going to do safe sex because you found out now, but has this changed the whole not charisma, but the dynamic of you guys' relationship potentially now?
I think it depends on how the relationship's been going, because if she's been,
let's say it's been phenomenal, like
if she's been open and honest with you about everything, and she's I don't know, just like the one, like the perfect girl, that like in your dreams, like this is the perfect girl. And then that, like, I wouldn't discredit her, be like, oh, you've been cheating on me or anything, or you weren't honest with me. Like, some people just aren't that keen to talk about it. Yeah,
because I get it. Like, that is such a turnoff from any perspective. Like, just, you walk. Okay, I'm gonna be real. Like, if I walk up to a girl at a club or just somewhere, let's say I'm at a movie and with my friends, like, me, you, and a group of our friends go to the movie, and I see this girl, and I walk up to her like, hey, how's it going? And she goes, oh, I have herpes. I'm gonna immediately be like, all
right, peace.
Yeah, good luck with that. Best of luck to you. Even if she's not telling the truth, that's a real huge turnoff. But see, then that's what I mean. Like, it's almost like a stigma where it's just like, ew, you're diseased. I don't want nothing to do with you. But there's real people out there in this world who have to live with that, who some people who are just not even gross at all, and they just contracted it because of some dumbass. And any male or female, don't get that wrong, contracted it because of this situation, and then now they have it, and it's just like, oh well, now I got to live with this and figure it out. But see, then you have those people who are responsible about it, who are like, I'm going to live with this correctly.
Yeah.
Versus the ones who are just kind of like, I'm going to be an asshole about it, male or female, and I'm just going to be like, fuck, I'm going to spread it with whomever and just be a dick about it because I got it now, so fuck the world. I got to give it to them too.
I know. It's hard because it's like I don't want to sound like an asshole and be like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, like, unless I'm about to put a baby inside of you, I'm not taking a condom off. Like, that's just me. Like, I wouldn't, unless we are doing it for that specific reason. It's not happening.
See,
I'm not chancing that.
See, ladies, that's real love, because this man is willing to catch a disease for your ass to get a baby by you. So
I don't know about
like
that. I'd get the fucking turkey baster out right there. And go into the bathroom, turkey baster, and I never said I'd actually just get it, but I'm saying, like,
that's the only time you would consider it.
I wouldn't consider it. No, I'm not. I'm not saying that like I would consider it. I'm saying like
you could have there's ways to do it without actually.
No, but yeah, there's ways to do it. But I'm saying, like, even if you did or if you didn't, unless I'm doing it for that specific reason of getting you pregnant, I'm not taking the condom off.
True.
Or you're not going off of birth control. There's one of either, actually both.
All right, that's it. So would you like to use your 5?
No.
I'm not going to use my 5 either. I feel like we discussed that.
Yeah,
good enough.
That was a good one.
So, ladies, just be careful.
And guys.
Men, be careful, especially young men and young ladies. Believe me, there's a lot of shit out there, and all the people I've ever met who've had STDs have told me it's terrible, but you learn to live with it. But regardless, you don't want to get it from the first spot or from the beginning. So Coachella fucked a lot of people, and that's all I'm going to say. Anyways, so what would your topic you would like to talk about? Controversial, non-controversial?
All right, so I have my controversial topic here.
All right.
And we joked about this earlier, but I'm going to bring it up now.
Okay.
Okay? So it is the wall.
The wall. Oh, shit. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get dirty here. All right. 10 minutes has started. Let's begin.
All right.
The wall.
The
Jesus
wall.
Christ.
Okay. So my view on the wall is I don't think it's necessarily a bad idea, but I also don't think it's a great idea. So I think it's a good idea because there's like 700 miles of unprotected border that's just open. Ain't nobody guarding it. There's no fence or nothing. It's just open. But I also don't think we need a 150 foot by like tall wall and then like 10 feet thick concrete wall around the entire U.S. or at least on the southern border to keep people out.
Yeah,
I do think there needs to be more security. And all of the border down there should be covered, but it's not. It doesn't need to be that extreme,
or at least not to that mandatory. Because I know right now a lot of people are screaming at the camera right now at me like, "You're Latin, you should be defending and saying, nah, you're full of shit." And I don't. The problem with me is that I don't feel either way. I don't feel strongly against it or for it. Because I know the whole premise with the scare tactic is it's allowing people with drugs to get into America, but it's like, let's be realistic, ladies and gentlemen. Drugs are going to get here regardless. Drugs are already here. Drugs are coming from Canada. Drugs are coming from boat. I mean, let's be real. People get paid off. Drugs get here.
Yeah.
It's not going to stop that. So once that gets thrown out, okay, so now drugs not even on the variable. Don't get me wrong. That's one way it gets here. But let's say that's not the primary. So that's been thrown out. What is it really to do? Get rid of anyone who is not I don't even want to say native of America, because it's like technically my family's a native of Arizona and California way back when it was the Mexico Providence. But that type of stuff where it's just like, what's the dictation of people trying to come over? But I do believe that if you're a person from a different country and you want to come to America, you should follow the rules in the sense of you come with the paperwork, you do what you need to do. Because I've met people who were illegal immigrants, came over here, did the legal paperwork, did everything, got their green card, and then became a legal citizen later on, you know. And it's like they follow the rules correctly how you want to do it. Excuse me. And so they followed the process correctly, and they made it happen for themselves and for their families.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them are doing very well, you know. And there's some, they come over here and all they want to do is work, which is fine. And then they get a work license or a work visa. They work, and then once that visa's up, sometimes they go back, sometimes they don't. The ones that don't go back are the ones who get into situations where, but that's with everything. There's people in America who are garbage. Let's be real. There's people over different countries that are garbage, you know, Mexico, etc. They come over here and party and goof off and do rotten shit. Just like people who are in California go down to Tijuana to get super drunk and fuck prostitutes and, excuse me for saying the F word, but do all this rotten shit over there because it's more or less legal because they don't care. They look the other way. So it's just, it goes back both ways. So you got to look at it like there is without a doubt good and there's without a doubt bad. And there's just no way to really stop that per se. Because even if they did build a wall, they're still going to have little places where the border is at where you can get in and out. You know, there's going to still be some type of, because it's like the idea of the wall is not like, okay, here's the wall. No one can ever go on that side and this side, period. Ever. It's not cut off. There has to be some type of border regulation because there's still trading in Mexico done between the United States. So it's just, I don't understand the concept of like building this thing, which is going to be ultimately like all or nothing. Like it's just unfeasible in a lot of ways, where it's just like a lot of money wasted on things that need to be put here in America and fixed, like the roads, the education system, hell, even our police force. It needs to get fixed. That's a different topic.
That's for a different day.
I mean, there's just so many other things and different avenues I think the money could go for that really will help the common man in the United States. And I think that's just being overlooked because this is like a scare tactic that people are falling for. You guys are falling for it. Don't fall for it. It's stupid. It's a stupid. Drugs come to America in different shapes and forms. You cut off this border. Okay, fine. Now what about all the drugs that are coming over there in the East Coast? What about all the drugs coming up from up north? It exists. There's no way around it. It just happens. Period.
All right.
You know, that's so that was my rant about the wall. Hell, you even got me going a little sweaty right there.
That was the point. That's why we talk about these things. Because nobody else is gonna.
No one's gonna discuss this shit.
No one else is gonna be discussing this. So, one of my views on it is if you look at, I believe it's Israel. They have a wall. It's bigger than the one that they plan on building here around their entire country, and it eliminated like 99% of illegal immigrants or illegal immigration. So, I know Latin people whose families before them have come here legally. And, like you said, done all the paperwork, gone through the process and all that, and came here legally. And they're on, I don't know, I guess like the good side of the wall.
Like the pros,
because they're like, well, my family's had to do it and struggle through it. So why do all these people get to come over for free? I mean, it's not for free, but it's like,
yeah, but they're not doing it the correct way.
Exactly. They're not doing it how you should. So like, why do they get to stay, and why is it happening? Why is this happening?
Yeah.
And a lot of more illegal immigrations happen from overstayed visas than border crossing. It's like, I don't know, maybe like 60-40 or something. I don't know the exact number, but it's a majority of illegal immigration is overstayed visas. So it's like,
I could see that.
So
because the visa can be tracked, whereas the ones that come over here illegally, how can they be tracked? They don't have a social. They don't have
exactly, and that's
most of them have driver license, so it's like there's no way to really track them other than like, oh, I caught you. You're just walking down the street, or
yeah.
oh, I pulled you over because you're driving real erratically or something like that.
And that's a different thing. Is like that number is very
yeah
hard to calculate because we don't know how many people are over here because they can't be tracked.
Yeah,
that's the thing. So I think that I'm fine with immigration. I don't care. You can come in the U.S. if you want to. I just think you got to do it the right way.
Yeah.
And I do think having tougher borders would help with that. I also think it would help with the drugs. I understand your point of of it coming from everywhere else.
Yeah.
Or just being made here because, just meth labs and shit like that. You watched Breaking Bad. They didn't make that shit in an RV, no problem. But it's like, I do think it would help. And I understand that the money could be put towards other things that do need attention. But I also think that needs attention too.
Okay. Okay, so let's say they do put the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And it does absolutely jack shit.
Mm-hmm.
Then what? Because now that's what, $5 billion down the drain.
Mm-hmm. Shoot, you got me there. I don't know. What would the wall do if it? What would we do if the wall didn't do anything? If it didn't help at all?
It didn't help at all. And
make the wall bigger.
make the wall 800 feet tall.
Exactly. Make the wall bigger and thicker. That's about it. I don't know. Because like I guess I don't see that side of like I don't see how if there was stronger borders and a wall, no matter how big or small.
Yeah.
I do think there would be it would help something. Like I don't think it would just be useless.
Yeah.
Like if I put a picket fence in front of my yard, anybody can jump over it. It's not going to do anything. But it's like, I don't know. It's a deterrent, I guess.
A little bit. Oh, I mean, some people take it as a challenge. Like,
yeah.
What is he trying to hide from this white little picket fence?
Exactly.
All right, let's go over there and see what's over there.
And I get that. Some people, and they have like some people have like tunnels and shit that they get through, and they'll just build under. So you got to build into the ground to put posts and pour like whatever concrete or wood or however you do it.
Because all right, so check this out.
Yeah, I just don't think it would do nothing.
Oh, that sucks. Because
I had 5 minutes.
I had a really good statement to say.
Do you want to use your 5 minutes?
Fuck it, I'll use my 5.
He's using his 5 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm using my 5 minutes.
That is Gavinci Raw's 5 minutes.
5 minutes, no more for the rest of this episode. But Mannche still has it. So, all right. The reason what I was going to say is, okay, I'm Latin, ladies and gentlemen. To be exact, I'm actually Chicano or Mexican American. And obviously, I have family members who associate with actual people who you consider illegal. And they told me, and I quote, they told them, which got back to me, is when 9/11 happened and the U.S. government shut down every single border, and that's Canadian, like everything, all the ships and everything was cut off. That's it. No human being could physically get over the border, the Mexican border, during that time period. Literally, it was cut off. It was shut off.
Yeah.
So why is it at that time no one could get over? All these illegal immigrants were telling each other like, "Hey, you can't right now. You just cannot get over there without a wall." Like all of a sudden now a wall is going to prevent that when it couldn't then. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm saying. Like it makes me think that if they put that $5 billion towards an actual real like something that's more like solid, like like I'm just playing devil's advocate here, ladies and gentlemen. So don't get mad. Like almost like a military force or something like that. If they really wanted to control it and really dictate it, they could.
Yeah.
They don't really want to per se. That's what I'm saying. Like they kind of do want the immigrants to, and this is all right. So this is what I'm going to get at. That's the reason why I use my 5. They do want illegal immigrants coming over here because it's free labor. Not free labor, it's cheap labor. The best labor of all is that you can actually call immigration on them once they're done with their job and then they get deported. and you don't have to pay them.
Yeah.
Which has happened before.
Yeah.
They've proven that time and time again. Hell, there was a car wash not too well. It's far from you and I, but not far from where we work.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they did.
Yeah, and I don't agree with like what ICE agents do to people, like rip them out of their homes and shit, and like
or rip them away from families and things like that.
Yeah, rip them away from families, or illegally ask to see their papers when they don't have the right to.
Yeah.
They have no reason to suspect that anybody is illegal, or they're just doing it because they I don't know, they look at someone and they're like, that guy looks a little suspicious.
Yeah.
Are
you saying that people will judge other people based off their skin color?
I think I am.
Oh my God. I never knew this.
And I understand that cheap labor, because a lot of illegal immigrants work on farms and stuff, and they pick crops and the food that you and I buy at the grocery store. And
watermelon's delicious.
Mm-hmm. And they do a pretty damn good job of it.
I'm not. I complain when I'm out in the sun. I'm Latin.
Yeah.
I don't want to be out in the sun. I want to roast.
Exactly. And they're doing harder jobs than most of us for a lot less money, and they do it every single day.
Every day.
You don't hear them complain about it.
Or they do, but they
like,
speak Spanish, so you don't understand.
Yeah. And I think if you took every single illegal immigrant out of America, like right now, like you know, like a Thanos snap, like we were talking about, like you Thanos snapped everybody back to whatever country they came from.
Ready, ladies and gentlemen? That's it.
That's it.
Illegal immigrants are gone.
Go walk outside.
Yeah, that's it.
Like it would, not a lot of people would go and do those jobs because they'd be asking the companies for more money to go do this job, and the companies wouldn't want to pay them that much money. So then the food
pricing and that
pricing would go up, and you get less of it, and just like little things like that you don't necessarily
construction labor things that will go up.
And you don't necessarily think about those like small things, but I mean, there's a lot of stuff that illegal immigrants do for America that helps us out tremendously. So I think,
well, the funny part is, who's going to build a wall, right? It's going to be illegal immigrants building the wall.
Hey, I heard he was paying like $70 an hour to build that wall. I will be there on my hands and knees building a damn wall for $70 an hour.
Not for $70, not in the sun. I'm okay.
$70 an hour.
No, thank you. No, most people get paid like $25 to close to like $30 an hour doing the like construction and things like that out here.
Dude, I make $15 an hour. I'd take 70. I make $15 an hour working outside, 2-3 hours a day. I mean, I understand it'd be a lot longer than that, but
that's it.
I'd take $70. Like, come on.
No, thank you. You can have that $70. Shove it up your ass. All right, so that is it. The wall. You bastard! I couldn't believe you brought that up, but good for you.
I know we were joking about it the other day. Remember?
I was like, watch, he's gonna say that damn with the wall.
I literally, I was like, if he doesn't say it, I'm gonna say it.
Yeah. You scum.
Mm-hmm.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So we're on to
let's
our
hear your comments
second.
Let's read your comments in the bottom. We'll be waiting for your response.
Please write down below. Okay. This is a little personal, but if the first one really touched you in any type of way with STDs and that nature and how you actually deal with it, we would love to hear from you. We would love to hear how you deal with it, how your life has changed through it, and how you perceive things and how you approach a person. Because truth be told, Jared and I were naive to that, so we don't know what it's like. Yeah,
exactly. We don't live that life.
So I mean, hey, if he tells us it's like this, and can we be a little bit more sensitive to it? Please let us know in the comments. We really appreciate that. All right, so my second topic. This, I hope this one doesn't get any flack for it, but hey, you know what? Double standards for men and women. Do you feel that there's any way we can abolish it or make it better? Let's begin.
Double standards for both men and women.
Yes, I'm not going to exclude you women, because just because we're two guys doesn't mean we cannot exclude you women. You guys have double standards too, and vice versa. Would you like me to give you an example?
I don't think I mean, yeah, you can give the people some examples, but I'm just trying to think like, I mean, yes, we could abolish it by like, just not doing it, but it's, I don't know, it's almost like ingrained in society that that's the way it is, that it would be extremely hard to change the way that millions of people think.
Okay, I agree with you with that. Because, like, let's be honest. You and I are, like, relatively, chivalry guys. We're really close to that. In which case, you and I could break out of that in a heartbeat, depending on the female. But we typically approach a female kind of like, hey, how you doing? People, like, more or less in a polite way.
Yeah. Like a gentleman.
Like a gentleman. But let's be real. I hate to say this, ladies, but you guys killed it. You guys don't want a guy who does that shit. So why should we? So we're going to approach you how every other guy approaches you, and then you're going to get mad because it's like, oh, my God, why is every guy talking like this to me? That's because that's what society has created now. All right? So the biggest reason why I bring this up is because the double standard of men and women in today's society is bad because, okay, women, I said this in the first episode, and I'm going to say it again. If you get turned down by a guy, fuck him, he's a piece of shit. Okay, and that was one guy. Men get turned down by women anywhere from 20 to 30 times a day if we approach multiple females. Mm-hmm. That's average. That's normal for us. And so it's like a double standard of that is like, how's that fair for us to do something like that where it's like not fair for men to do that to you guys? Like, that is a really ugly double standard in my opinion. Another one that I really don't like, and I'm just going to put it out there, is, okay, a woman could tell a man he smells good, regardless if she knows him or not. Mm-hmm. A man cannot tell a woman, even if he's like 6'3", incredibly muscular, insanely handsome, every woman wants to sleep with him. He cannot approach a woman and say, wow, you smell good. She's going to be like, ew, you fucking creep. Like, why are you telling me this? I don't know you. So that double standard, I don't like that because it's like equal is equal, fair is fair. And granted, even me saying it kind of sounded creepy in my own head.
Yeah.
But let's be real, that's fair. You know?
It's like, so I apologize for being on my phone, but I was just looking up some examples to go off of. So I'm going to feed you some. I want to get your reaction to them.
Okay.
All right. So a woman is in a shopping mall.
Okay.
And she is breastfeeding.
Okay.
Like just, on one of the benches in the middle. And there's a giant picture of like a Victoria's Secret model on the wall. and the security guard comes up to her and they're like, we can't allow women to brazenly display their breasts.
Okay. All right.
See, that's pretty hard.
Yeah, that one, because she's on private property. So that's the only reason why I would be like, okay.
But I mean, that's like there's a giant picture.
Oh yeah, no, I agree with that. I'm not going to sit there and defend that because it's like, but then it's also too like, women don't like when men look at women's breasts. When we sit there and gawk at it, like, but don't get me wrong, like, I'm not one of those guys who'll sit there and gawk at it. But if it's like when you're just completely showing it, it's like hard for us men to not at least glance. Like, let's be real. And some of you women, despite getting mad when men look, you do want us to look so that way you know that you're still attractive enough to get a man's look. So when I say that, understand that I'm not trying to go after you or make you guys feel in any type of way or any type of feel. It's just more or less like this is just a reality of the situation. Mm-hmm. That's just what it is. And, and I'm not stupid enough to think otherwise. Like, I've had girlfriends in the past and they purposely showed cleavage because they wanted me to check them out. So that it made them feel good as a woman. Like, my man loves me, or my man, or let's even put it this far, men want to check me out and still find me attractive, even though I am taken, or even though I am a little bit older now. Like, it still has that sex appeal to them because it makes them feel good as a woman.
Oh, I got one. Okay. So this is one I hear a lot on like Twitter and stuff. Yeah. Is when you have a girlfriend and she dresses, provocatively, like, showing a little cleavage, maybe like some shorter shorts. And you're like, no, you can't. Like, I wouldn't be like this, with ladies. But, some guys are like, no, you can't go out like that. Like, you can't be dressed like that. But then your girlfriend catches you staring at other girls that are dressed exactly like how she was dressed. So it's like, what the hell? Like, why can't?
Yeah, because but that goes again that person could possibly be that person, period. And what I'm saying to you is, like, I'm actually speaking to the women here. That guy probably was that guy to begin with. Because let's be honest, he was attracted to you because you were dressed like that to begin with. So you can't be 100% mad at him when he's looking at the same women when you don't dress like that no more. But that's not saying that what he's doing is wrong, because what he's doing is wrong, because he got with you and now he should respect that, he's with you and he's with no one else. But also too, to sit there and put you in this type of category of like, you cannot dress like that at all anymore because I don't want other men looking at you. That also is like contradicting, because that was what made him like you to begin with. So it's just like that weird little teetering balance of like, because I met women who dress like they don't show no cleavage, no nothing, and they're still incredibly sexy. Just something about them. It's just like, wow, you're a super sexy. And I've seen women who just have their ass completely showing and their tits completely showing, and they look trash. Like, I'm not even in front. I've seen women like that. But then I seen women who are showing everything and they look, And then I seen women who are tighter in a knot, and they just, So it's just 50-50. It just depends on the person. What I found is more attractive, more beautiful is a woman with a beautiful smile and a great attitude. Like, if you're humble, you'll be amazed how far that goes. I'm just putting it out there. That's just what I find attractive in women. Doesn't mean that's all for every man, but, let's be honest.
Or when like, same girl, like, imagine you're like back in high school or something like that.
Okay.
And some like hot guy walks up to a girl that's, pretty attractive, pretty popular, and he's like, hey, what's up? Abby.
Okay.
Abby.
Like,
hey, what's up, Abby? And, she's like, oh, hey, what's up? Being all friendly and stuff. And then, like, you get one of the little more overweight, maybe some, like, acne, messy, like, greasy hair, doesn't really dress that well. And
so the atypical, non-attractive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And they say the same thing, and she's like, oh, hey, what's up? Yeah. Or, like, they're like, oh, don't talk to me. Like, like, it's, you got to be friendly with everybody. You can't just, like,
you can't create that double standard.
Yeah.
There you go, double standard.
But
yeah, it's not because it's just contradictory of being a person. If you're going to treat everyone equal, then treat everyone equal. It's very okay, ladies. This is one that a lot of us men deal with on a regular basis. When a female is overly nice, and I mean literally overly nice, touchy, and the whole nine, stares at you and pats her eyes at you and even plays with her hair, and we're like, oh my God, this girl's feeling us. Like, this girl, oh my God, this girl likes me. So you go for the, hey, let's get a number. Let's actually try to make this into something other than that. And she gets like that overwhelming of like, oh my God, what's wrong with you? I was just trying to be your friend. And I know a lot of women are going to be like, what are you talking about? Just analyze your day-to-day basis and see the guys who seem really flirtatious with you, and then see how you act with them, and vice versa. And same with the men. If you have a woman who's suddenly all into you, look at how you're treating her. Sometimes a woman might not be getting what she needs to get at home. Sometimes she's just, as a single woman, been a single woman for years, and she's just not getting no attention. And then all of a sudden you give her a little bit of attention, and it's just like, wow, this guy's a good guy. I want to talk to him. It's just, there's a whole bunch of variables there. It's just like, some are very contradicting, some are not, some are just like ups and downs. And I get the whole scenario of, there is, do you believe that there's always somebody for somebody?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I thought this, but it,
because I've seen some pretty bad couple, or like bad in my eyes couples, where it's like,
no, there's obvious ones.
Glad you guys found each other, because you ain't finding anybody else.
You ain't finding nobody else, and or it's just he's attracted enough to find someone else, or she's attracted enough to find someone else. But let's be real, they're not meant to be with anybody else because they're garbage, or the other way. Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Unless Mannche does this 5 minutes, that's the end of that topic.
Nope.
Ooh, people are screaming at the computer screen right now, or cell phone screen. All right, Mannche, you're up. What is your second topic?
Scream into the comments because we'd like to read them.
Absolutely. And please subscribe so that way you could be let known when we have new episodes up.
And hit the post notification bell so you're notified every time we upload, which is every Thursday around 1 or 2 p.m.
Yeah, I believe it's going to be down there, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. Somewhere down there.
Somewhere down there. You'll find it.
You'll just read.
We trust you.
Yeah.
Trust yous. All right, so what is your second topic
All right.
that you would like to discuss?
Oh, okay. So my second topic kind of goes back to the first episode, I think.
Ooh, ladies and gentlemen.
I think it was. I don't remember.
If it was, please comment below and let us know if it was and how you felt about it then and how you about to feel about it now, potentially.
I don't know. It's okay. So it's subbed versus dubbed anime.
Sub versus dubbed anime. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about anime again. So, sub versus dubbed. All right. Let's begin.
So we didn't touch on this when we were talking about anime, which I think was in the first episode.
It was.
Right?
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it might have been a second episode.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, either way, it was in one of the episodes. We talked about anime, but we didn't touch on like subbed or dubbed. So if you guys don't know, subbed means like subtitles. So the audio's in Japanese, but there's English subtitles or Spanish subtitles or whatever
Depending on language.
But the audio that you actually hear is always in Japanese.
Yes.
And then dubbed is when they get new voice actors to redo the audio in a certain language, whether that be English or Spanish or German or whatever, what have you.
Yeah, which one of our friends who will be on a show eventually, not going to say when, but he will be on a show eventually, could potentially be a voice actor in the future.
He's got a good voice.
I mean, be listening out for that. I mean, don't get me wrong, my voice is silky smooth and Jared's is too.
I like my voice too.
But it is not us. Believe me, he'll be on the show. You will hear his voice. As soon as you do, you'll understand exactly what we're talking about.
So
but continue.
So I am a pretty strong subbed person. I like subbed anime with some exceptions because my whole feeling on this is it's really what you watch in the first place. Like the first episode that you watch, whether it be in dubbed or subbed, it kind of determines which path you're going to go down in the long run, just because that's what you get used to.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me explain a little bit what he's saying. The thing about the Japanese version is that when the Americans dub it, or whichever language they dub it in, they have to cut some of the words or even sentences due to the fact that it doesn't fit the character's miming at all. So they have to cut it. So sometimes you actually miss a little bit of dialogue. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you miss some jokes. Sometimes you miss some little subtle things that actually change the whole entire show if you don't hear this one little thing. So I understand completely what he's saying, but I always grew up watching dub anime, and so I kind of prefer dub anime because I hate having to read sometimes.
Exactly, and I understand that. And like when I was growing up, I watched Naruto in dubbed because that's what was on. Yeah. Or I watched Dragon Ball Z in dubbed because that's what was on. That's what was on. Yeah. But like I watched Dragon Ball Super in Japanese, in subbed because I didn't want to wait for the dubbed version to release. That's another thing, is that dubs usually take like a month or 2 months to catch up to where the sub is. It's usually pretty far behind.
I was going to say, it could even be worse than that. It could be a year, even 2 years sometimes, depending on how popular the show is just in general.
So that's why I like watching subbed animes, especially new animes that I'm like just getting into. If it's still a running series, because the episodes release in a more timely manner. There's more stuff to watch.
Yeah.
But I watched like Naruto Shippuden in mostly Japanese. So I'm used to both of their voices.
So all the Japanese ladies out there does know that me and Jerry actually do know some Japanese.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. And I watched, and I'm used to the voices in Dragon Ball for dubbed and subbed. But like
that little lady just, I hate Goku's voice in Japanese.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's another thing too. Is like dub or subbed anime. Usually, male characters are voiced by females.
Yeah, and that's normal.
And it's just kind of a thing that you either like or you dislike, or you get used to or you don't get used to it. And it's just different. That's all I gotta say. It's just different. But like when I watched Full Metal Alchemist, I watched it in subbed, and I've heard the dubbed voices, but I don't like the dubbed voices.
Which is funny because I've seen both too, and I prefer the dub because Edward Elric just to me just always sounded so much better, the American, in my personal opinion. But that's just
Exactly.
that's my personal opinion on it.
That's what I'm saying is like. But did you watch it in dubbed first?
I did.
See,
I did watch it in dub first, and it did make me a little biased. You're the one who told me about My Hero Academia to watch it in Japanese, and I actually watched it in dub first, so I was a little biased. Then I went back and actually saw little subtle things where I'm like, okay, this was cut out from the American version, so I didn't actually get to understand that.
They translate it differently.
They do.
When they do dubbed versions, they have to because they only have a certain amount of time in between each shot or each moving mouth that they can fit words into. So sometimes they talk faster or they shorten down the translation. And
then also sometimes just because of content, they the Americans dubbing you can't say certain words, you can't say certain types of innuendo of how you say certain things. Don't get me wrong, there's some Japanese translations that I've seen are even a little bit wrong too, and then later on you find out, oh yeah, that was just translated wrong.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I know one off the top of head.
Yeah. They definitely get translations wrong. Yeah, because it's still somebody translating Japanese to English, and sometimes it's not a perfect match.
Yeah, because it's almost like an expression because I know Spanish certain Spanish sentences can't translate 100% to English because it's more like an expression. Yeah, not so much
it's not like this word means this word.
Yeah, it's not a literal. Yeah, it's just, and I know the Japanese has that. I know all kinds of different shout out to people who speak different languages. Good for you. Yeah, I struggle with it, but
dude, I took like 5 years of Spanish. I only know like 2 sentences to get me through my day.
All right.
Yeah.
So, like certain shows I do think that are better sub. Personally, I think like One Punch Man is way better sub.
Oh, absolutely.
The Japanese version.
Absolutely. They totally fucked the voices on the dubbed.
Yeah, without a doubt. And even the translation had a lot of offs, and they just could not get the jokes right. The punchlines were just not funny, which I didn't understand, like how that couldn't translate, where you literally follow how they do it, and you just, boom, you can remimic it. So I don't understand how they were able to F that up, but somehow they did it. And, the American version is very disliked.
Yeah, like I think My Hero Academia sounds so much better in Japanese. I cannot stand the American voices. I think they make me so mad. I can't stand.
You don't like Piccolo as
no.
All Might?
No. No, it doesn't.
Wait, was it Piccolo, or am I thinking of Vegeta? I think Vegeta is actually All Might, or at least for the second season or something like that.
Well, whichever one, it doesn't sound right to me.
Don't translate.
Like it just the voices and the way that the characters, I don't know, the design and the way they act. Like I think the voices fit them well. Like I don't know. You ever meet somebody, like you meet some short little kind of nerdy looking white kid with like a super deep voice, and it just doesn't really fit their look.
Yeah,
like you expect them to sound one way, and they sound completely different because they have just like a super deep voice, and that's just how they are.
Yeah,
and I just think that the Japanese voices, at least for My Hero Academia and a couple other shows, fit the design and how the characters act so much better.
Yeah, I see that, because the one thing about Japanese animes is that they have like a real select amount of voice actors that they always go to.
That is true.
Like there's
a lot of voices carry over between shows.
Without a doubt. Like I've seen different ones where I'm like, hey, wait a minute, I recognize that voice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't understand 100% what they're saying without the translation, but I know the voice. It's like, oh, I know who that person is.
Yeah.
Hell, even a lot of them do video game voice acting. Granted, ladies and gentlemen, I actually don't play video games at all anymore, but Jared still does on his PSN.
I do.
We're going to play that later. But So I don't know. I'm on the fence about that. With that being said, like, it's like a tomato type situation.
It really is.
Different stuff for different folks.
It really is.
I don't personally think anything other than like people should really give it a chance. Like we said, what we touched on that one episode, that anime does have the stigma, and people should give it a chance. Regardless, if you hate reading, then find an anime that's dubbed, and I guarantee that
if you don't want to sit there and pay attention and watch the series and read the subtitles for multiple episodes on end, like, then just find the dubbed.
Just find a dub. Because there's times when I'll be watching a sub anime, and because it's subbed, I missed what they said. Like I'll be eating and look back, and I'm like, okay, what just happened? Because I just missed half of what they said.
Yeah, and you got to rewind.
And then exactly. Whereas if it was dubbed, then it's like, okay, well then just listening, you'd be able to figure out what they said or what's going on exactly.
Yeah, it's a very, I don't know, difficult. There's no right or wrong way. Is what I'm trying to say.
That's it. Unless you want to use your 5.
Nope. I'm good.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for episode 3. So we're going to do a real quick wrap up of the topics we had.
Yep.
So the first topic was mine, which was STDs.
STDs.
And the very general consensus was, honestly, you probably should tell the other person from the get-go, and if they like you enough, they'll look past that.
Yep.
So that's our general consensus. Don't take our word 100%. Talk about it. Talk about it in the comments below. You'll be amazed at how many people will tell you, like, yeah, they're right, or no, they're absolutely wrong. This is why. But please talk about it. That's what's most important.
Yeah.
And then
we're just trying to start conversations.
Exactly.
Here.
And then.
All right. So my topic was the wall.
The wall. Ooh.
I don't know if we really came to a general agreement on that.
Yeah. It was still kind of a gray area where I don't see a point in it. Ladies and gentlemen, I think it would be just a waste of money, honestly. And I'm not saying it because I'm like, more brown people over. I'm just saying it because of a logicalness, my realness of it, looking at it. It just seems not feasible, and it just seems like a waste of money, especially when we should be using money towards something that's a little bit more beneficial as an American.
Yeah, and my view is that I think it does need to be strengthened, and there is a purpose for it. Not to the extent that they want to build it, but I do think all of the borders should be secured.
Okay.
There should be no open borders. That's what I'm saying. Is there should be no gaps in the border where people can just walk through.
Damn it! I just thought of a question, but it's like
there ain't no questions here.
That's it. This is the wrap up.
The end.
All right. Third topic, which is my topic, which was double standards.
Double standards.
Ladies. From a guy's perspective, understand the reason why a lot of us guys get frustrated with you guys is because of double standards. We want to be fair and equal, but it's hard for us to try to treat everyone as equals when we're being torn down because of these things or double standards. And then vice versa. Men, understand if a woman doesn't want to talk to you, or a woman's just kind of like, yo, dude, chill the fuck out. Back up. Leave her alone. It's completely understandable that she's not feeling you.
Yeah.
And the double standard of, oh, well, she could talk to me. Why can't I talk to her? Just know that you're a guy. The police are going to side with her. Just back the fuck off, okay?
The court's going to favor in the female most of the time. So don't get into that.
Don't get into that. And please don't try to get a girl pregnant and then later regret it. That's just stupid. All right. So the last topic was
subbed versus dubbed.
Sub versus dub anime, and I actually like the reverse. I prefer dub versus sub,
and I like subbed versus dubbed.
But most importantly of all, we like anime, and we think you guys should check it out.
Yeah,
because this is the second time it's came up on the show, so clearly it must be decent,
And shoot, we'll probably bring it up a third time, maybe a fourth time if we can find something to talk about. But
it'll probably come up again.
Yeah.
So with that being said. Thank you guys so much for joining us again, and we really do apologize for the second episode being corrupted.
Very sorry.
We fixed that problem. There should be no issues with this one.
Hopefully.
But without a doubt, ladies and gentlemen, we would love for you guys to come back and comment, talk, subscribe, the whole 9. Jared, where can they find you at?
So they can find me at Jared, Jared, Mannche, Mannche, all one word, on Twitter. And then I also have my PlayStation account, which is Mannche, Mannche. And you guys can hit me up, play some Fortnite or some Rocket League, and we can game together.
And for me, it's Gavinci Raw, in which case that's both my YouTube and Instagram, and it's at Gavinci Raw, Gavinci, Gavinci, and then Raw. So basically think Da Vinci, but with a GA. And then for the YouTube, same thing. It's just Gavinci Raw. I'm the only one in the world. I made sure of that. Took care of all those people. No.
Yep.
But look us up. Hit us up. 90% of the time, you'll find me on Instagram. So if you actually need to find me directly or just want to have a conversation, go to Instagram. You'll find me there. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for joining. Like, comment, subscribe.
Thanks,
and you guys have yourself a great night. We'll see you next time.
Tell
Episode 4.
All right, episode 4.
Episode 4. Let's do it. All right. Bye. Peace.
Peace, guys.